Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, the second African-American to serve on the High Court, says he has experienced more discrimination in the North than in the South. Justice Thomas saying, quote, "The worst I've been treated was by Northern liberal elites, the absolute worst I have ever been treated." Joining us, Pastor Michael Faulkner and Camille Foster, co-host of Fox Business News show, the network's Fox News Business, The Independents at 9 p.m. Nice to see both of you.
Thank you, Greta. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Okay, first to you, Reverend Faulkner. Your thoughts on what Justice Thomas said?
I agree with him. You know, I actually served and lived in the South, and I experienced racism, of course. It exists, but nothing like I did when I came to New York City and experienced the, I guess what you call the limousine liberals. Because, and one of the reasons that I think that their racism is so visceral is because we express, as independent free thinkers, we express the fact that we really don't need them to exist. And so we don't give them justification for their existence, and they hate us for that.
Camille, what's your thought on this?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the justice said a few things. He also happened to say that we obsess over race quite a bit too much these days in the United States. And that's the part that I really latched onto. I've certainly encountered racial animus because I have views that don't seem appropriate for a guy who happens to look like me. But I think it's the first portion of this that I really latch onto, the notion that we've been having this perpetual dialogue about race in this country for a number of years. And while we've seemingly entered into what I like to call the Tawana Brawley era of civil rights, where we move from manufactured controversies to this ginned up, phony outrage about any number of things, it's these non-issues like the Gen 6, which turn out to be not the racial watershed moments that they're actually made out to be. For whatever reason, we have a very difficult time acknowledging where we actually are, which is to say that we have actually defeated the brand of institutionalized, naked racism that was predominant during the civil rights era, and we are in another place. Unfortunately, what we're left with is this really crude hypersensitivity and myopic obsession with race and racism. And it actually exists on the left and the right in some important respects.
Camille, Justice Thomas has been called lots of things, including he's been called Uncle Tom.
Sure.
I'm curious, now that you're the anchor of The Independents on Fox Business at 9 p.m. I'll repeat for you. I mean, are you finding that because you've gotten so much more public that you're getting more insults from people?
You know, no, I haven't found that, but I've certainly heard those insults before. Unfortunately, and maybe I shouldn't say this, more often than not, it's family that might say something like that. Quite frankly, I find as an independent who doesn't happen to adhere to standard racial orthodoxy, that I make a lot of friends that way. There are plenty of people who are interested in having conversations with me about race. There are certainly some people who shun me. But I haven't noticed. It's not debilitating, and I think that's what's important to note here. It's a little weird to call that racism in the sense that Dr. King, for example, fought against racism.
But
Reverend, one of the things that Justice Thomas said, and Camille alluded to it, is that people today are more race conscious, politically correct than ever before. Do you agree with that, and why would that be?
I agree with it, and I think it's a very dangerous time that we live in because this whole political correct thing, see, this cuts both ways. If you don't agree with the elite or with those who are defining how we are to feel about something, then you are labeled, and those labels give you the inability to move freely, and you have to defend yourself everywhere you go. I mean, we can't say, hey, I disagree. The black community is not a monolithic community. We don't all have the same political views, nor should we. But I think it's important that we understand that those terms, that political correctness, is used to keep us in control, because I do believe that the socially elite do not want to see independent, free thinkers, especially African Americans, who can think freely and vote freely outside of the normal democratic or the normal political machine that controls them.
Well, I might take even a step. Well, if we're out of time, that's okay.
We're out of time, but everyone can see you at 9 p.m., so they'll hear the rest of it over on the
good.
Business Channel. Thank you both.
Thanks so much, Greta.